Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Sanhedrin. We are up to Parak Vav, Mishnah Vav. Today's Mishnayot should be Le'ilui Nishmat, Neria ben Svetlana, Ranbai, Eliyahu ben Burcha Israelov, Chana bad Miriam, Sason ben Ryan, Yoshua ben Shifra, Menuchatam began Eden, Amen, and Avdi ben Chaim lechaim v'derefua shalemav Daniel Shalom ben Rosa, Betoch Shach Israel, and Dachlama Merav Binyamin, Or Tzion Chai ben Dvorah. The previous Mishnah taught that an executed person may not be buried in his family's burial plot, however, he may be moved later. Nit'akel basar, when the flesh of the corpse is decomposed in the ground, melaketina tatzamot v'kovrin otan b'mkoman, they may gather the bones and bury them in their proper place, meaning in his family's burial plot. The death of this person and the disgrace caused by his body's decay bring him atonement. At that point, therefore, his remains may be buried in their rightful place. The Mishnah discusses how the relatives of an executed person should react to his execution. After the execution, the relatives should come and ask about the welfare of the judges and the witnesses. As if to say, we have nothing in our hearts against you for executing our relative, because we trust that you judged correctly and he deserved to die. They are not required to say this explicitly because it may be painful for them to do so, and because it would be disrespectful to the deceased. It's enough that they imply their approval in the manner described by the Mishnah. And the relatives may not mourn him, meaning they may not observe the laws of mourning, because it is wrong to mourn the death of such a wicked person before he receives his atonement when his flesh decomposes in the ground, as the Rav says in his second explanation. Even after the body has decayed and complete atonement has been granted, his relatives do not mourn him, because once the laws of mourning have been pushed away, they do not return. Aval onenin, however, they may grieve, meaning feel sad about his death. Shen aninut ela balev, because grieving is only in the heart and is not a public display of loss. And that is then of chapter Vav, Mishnah Vav. We continue with Perek Zayin, Mishnah Aleph. There are 4 ways in which a Sanhedrin can put someone to death. One of them is stoning, which was described in the previous chapter. This Mishnah lists all the 4 methods. 4 methods of execution were given to the court in order from harshest to lightest. They are skila, srefa, hereg v'chenek, stoning, burning, beheading, and strangling. Rabbi Shimon Omer, but Rabbi Shimon says that the order from harshest to lightest is as follows: serefa, skila, chenek v'hereg, burning, stoning, strangling, and beheading. There are 2 differences between the sages, the first Tana and Rabbi Shimon. A, the sages hold that stoning is harsher than burning, while Rabbi Shimon holds that burning is harsher. B, the sages hold that beheading is harsher than strangling, whereas Rabbi Shimon holds that strangling is harsher. Right? Tana Kama said skila, srefa, hereg, v'chenek, stoning, burning, beheading, and strangling. Rabbi Shimon said srefa, skila, chenek, v'hereg, burning, stoning, strangling, and beheading. Now, it's necessary to know the order of harshness, because if someone did 2 different sins, each of which carries a different type of execution, he is given the harsher one, as it says in chapter 9, Mishnah 4. Therefore, if someone is sentenced to both stoning and burning, the sages would rule that he is stoned, while Rabbi Shimon ruled that he is burned. And if someone is sentenced to both beheading and strangling, the sages would rule that he is beheaded, while Rabbi Shimon ruled that he is strangled. Another practical difference between the 2 views is found in chapter 9, Mishnah 3. Zum mitzvat and iskalin. The description in the previous chapter is the procedure for executing those who have been sentenced to stoning. The other 3 methods are described in the next 2 Mishnayot that we will see Bezrat Hashem Bli Neder in the following days. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen.